orders are as follows. Good morning, cadets, and welcome back to our Starfield playthrough, where we are under section 7 or subsection 7, this area. And yeah, I cleared my inventory, did a bit of modification on the new armor. I'm still missing a couple of things actually to have fully modded, so I need to, I don't know, maybe we'll stumble upon them, or I'll check to see how I can make them, because I still don't have the crafting material and whatnot. And my previous armor, the Mantis one, I just gave it to Sarah, so she's gonna have the Mantis armor while we're gonna be on planet. And I also gave her a better weapon with some ammunition that I had lying around in my inventory. So yeah, let's go.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Ah, so that's why is the mission activity showing. Retrieve active followers, right. Okay. Guess he was going too fast and he did not notice. Anyway, wait, Victis, we need to have a conversation. A long one.
Well, what a pleasant surprise. When I heard you and Hadrian were headed for Londinian of all places, I presumed you must be onto something big. Did you find what you were looking for?
Okay, you know what? No games. Tell me why you committed the attacks, or I take this straight to the cabinet.
How could you? Isn't this interesting? You know, you've proven far more clever than I had anticipated. You want to hear the words, then? I did it. The Terrormorph attacks on Tau Ceti, New Atlantis, my doing. Years of coordination between my associate and I, figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus plant's pollen outside of Londinian, learning to synthesize it, use it as a weapon. Now, being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have thoughts on why I might do such a thing.
Who are you been working with?
All in due time. First, I want to see if you're truly as astute as you appear. So why would someone like me go through all this trouble?
Huh. No better way to show the UC what a deadly weapon they have in the Lazarus plant than to use it. That's an interesting one. Is it though? Like petty revenge? That he's angry? Do have the empath option, and then there's another option that again is kinda similar with the empath response, that this seems personal. I might have a feeling that it's actually just
undivided attention.
It seems to be personal. I mean, it's obvious you're angry about what the UC did to you. This is petty revenge, nothing more.
Oh, my revenge was far from petty, Captain. The attacks were a correction. When I discovered the plant, I did consider handing over what I'd found, but we were at war. And I couldn't risk information that dangerous falling into the wrong hands. So I ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport, fixing two problems at once: halting the spread of the city's Terrormorph outbreak, and sealing away knowledge of the plant's potential.
See? But problem is, you just said it took you years to use the plant outside Londinium, so they kinda died for nothing.
Simple to say now, but with the outbreak raging from a barely understood source, the moment demanded quick action. So I did what was required. I removed the dangerous variable from an already catastrophic war. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included. And what did I get in return? Was there any effort by the UC to protect my legacy? My daughter's legacy? No. We were sacrificed when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter, she becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser, the research team, and cement my new position of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run brought to an end by another unlikely hero. You.
Damn. And why would the UC want you as an advisor?
Why would I want to be in the good graces of the people who control my very life? I don't know, Captain. Maybe I still dream of a life outside these walls someday. A new face would be needed, of course, but it wasn't an impossibility. Though now, I'm not so sure.
So how could you have coordinated all this from in here then?
It wasn't easy. But the beauty of being loathed is that people will do whatever they can not to deal with you. They wanted to pretend I didn't exist. And so I used their blind eye to my advantage. Still, establishing a back channel to Orlays via the UC recovery teams was painstaking work. I've led campaigns less nerve-wracking. They believed they were luring in wanted criminals, but were in fact delivering precisely encoded slates, filled with instructions invisible to any but their recipient, dropped off at just the right moments to fall into the proper hands. All without the UC realizing whom they were actually dealing with. Slow work. But as you can see, ultimately effective.
Damn. But you just murdered UC citizens because of some slight against your honor? That's kinda sick.
There are no heroes without a villain. I simply arranged the opportunity for us to overcome one and become the other. And we all benefited. It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago. I went to great lengths to ensure your and Hadrian's success. And
Damn.
look at the results. I know for a fact the Cabinet's planning to honor both you and Hadrian once this is all done. Isn't that preferable to languishing away in obscurity? Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere for the Vanguard? With only the vague hopes of perhaps earning the right to buy a home in the well someday.
What kind of honors are we talking here?
Something befitting the dedication to the colonies you two have shown. While of course they can't give you a command, responsibility like that has to be earned. The Cabinet does have access to considerable resources. I expect you'll be quite pleased with the result, and none of it would have happened without my intervention.
Well, if you're waiting for me to say thank you, we're going to be here a while.
I'm simply looking for you to acknowledge the truth. And let's not forget the importance of our actual endgame. Eliminating the Terrormorphs. Securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. What we've set in motion is going to protect thousands, maybe millions of lives. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. Mine. I've already sent along the evidence of Orlays' role in the attacks to the Cabinet, leaving out my own involvement. Orlays and Orlays alone. After all, I do still have a long list of threats to the UC. This needn't be the end of our good works together.
Oh, well, as much as I hate to admit it, what he done, I can understand. So in a way, I'm agreeing with how he handled the situation before all of this. But on the other hand, it's not great. So what kind of work are we talking about here?
Hunting down criminals and other threats to the United Colonies. I expect they'll give me a bit more free range once this is all over. You would help me, like you did with Orlays. Track them down and keep them from doing harm to the United Colonies. Impossible, though, if the Cabinet learns I'm the one responsible for the attacks.
So you think I'm just going to forget the fact that you killed people to accomplish your good works?
And how many have you killed to get where you are now? There are no
Fair point.
great works that don't cost lives, Captain. Whether it's winning a war or digging a tram tunnel. So we sacrificed a few dozen in the attacks to possibly protect millions. That seems like a fair exchange to me. I only hope you'll see the same and leave my name out of the discussions to come.
You know, I'm not sure what I'm going to tell the Cabinet.
Well, I do hope you'll keep the larger perspective in mind, Captain. We've done something great here. Let's not squander the opportunity to do more.
I don't know. Again, I understand the position he came from. Was it right? Of course not. Could have been other
Authorized personnel only.
choices,
Friend has to stay here.
probably. Might keep it a secret in the end, unfortunately. I know it sounds bad, but who knows what repercussions it's gonna be if I'm admitting that he was responsible.
Perfect timing. We just got in. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the Asylees are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against Terrormorphs.
Means either plan should work for clearing those critters off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the Cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Any leads on who might have committed the attacks?
Yeah, sure. Don't really feel good about doing this. But it was a main name named Dr. Reginald Olays. He perpetrated the attacks.
Orlays? Reginald Orlays? He did this? I didn't think he was still alive. You're sure it was him?
Wait, you knew Olays?
Oh yeah. Both worked for UC Defense Research way back when. Different departments, but everyone knew Orlays. Had a mean eye for weapons tech. And a meaner temper. Wasn't exactly a surprise when he fled instead of standing trial after the Colony War. But finding out he's taken up mass murder in the years since, that is a shock. You're sure about this?
Yeah, positive. The evidence is on its way to the Cabinet as we speak.
I don't know much about Orlays, but anyone with a sick mind like that needs to be tried for his crimes, and then dealt with appropriately.
That's some impressive work. So then give us the rundown. Where's Orlays now? Were you able to bring him in?
Yeah, I tried, but he took his own life instead of coming peacefully.
I'm sorry to hear that. Those sorts of missions are always tough. Any idea why he might have done it? Or what he was doing with the plant?
mean, yeah, he found the plant while searching Londinium for a weapon data and chose to use it against the UC.
Aha! That makes sense. Plenty of abandoned tech for an old warmonger to pilfer there. Instead, he stumbles on the plant and finds the perfect way of getting back at the UC for trying to put him on trial.
Decides to use the plant against the people that destroyed his old life. I can see that. Well, at
exactly.
least he won't be able to hurt anybody else now. Might be the best we could ask for, given the circumstances. So I guess there's nothing else to do but get this all in front of the cabinet. Unless there were other things we needed to discuss. This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on a decision regarding the Terrormorphs.
Which method of dealing with the Terrormorphs are you two leaning towards?
Microbe is gonna make the cleanup a whole lot quicker. If we're concerned about this Lazarus plant getting deployed again, that's the way to go.
The cabinet can secure the Lazarus plant, and then we're not risking any surprises when it comes to dealing with a microbe.
You're being paranoid. You know the science. You know we can make this safe.
I do know the science. I also know math. And a 1 in a million chance of a mutation isn't 0.
True.
So I guess we're still in discussion. Probably best at this point to let the cabinet weigh in, see if they have a preference.
That's why I'm kind of leaning towards the Acilis as well. Because even if there's a slight, minuscule chance for the microbe to evolve, then from there it can just bypass the safeguards put in place, and then who knows what's gonna happen, what's gonna be the mutation, and then we might have a pandemic, epidemic, and whatnot. So yeah. You say that both approaches to clearing awards are effective against heat leeches.
They are.
Microbe needed minimal adjustment to account for heat leech anatomy.
And the Acilis seem like they're even better at tracking leeches than morphs.
Hell of a sight to watch, though, when they catch them. Like an open airlock guzzling angry spaghetti.
Yeah. And what kind of risks are there if we decide to bring back the Acilis?
Acilis aren't hostile to humans, but they are megafauna. If someone decides to pick a fight with one, it could get ugly. But they've already been spread far and wide once before when the UC was raising them as livestock, so the risk of introducing them to new worlds is minimal. Using them to clean up the Terrormorphs and leeches, though, it's not going to be nearly as expedient as the microbe would be. Given what we know now about the Lazarus plant, the speed of the job does matter. But going with the Acilis, we're at least dealing with known risks.
Okay, nothing else. Let's head in there.
And here we go.
Yeah, I still think the Acilis might be the best option.
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. But according to Hadrian's report, and the second one I just received, it seems the Terrormorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true?
Yep, that's correct.
My God.
An attack? Using Terrormorphs? How is that possible?
You will all receive a full briefing once we're done here. So then, is what the second report claims correct? Did Reginald Orlays commit these attacks, Captain?
Yes, it was Orlays.
That appears to be the case, ma'am. The captain tracked that information down just after our trip to Londinium.
Reginald Orlays? Wasn't there a report he'd been killed recently?
Body was found floating around Etheria. Report mentioned you were sent to try and bring him in, Captain. I guess that didn't go according to plan.
Indeed.
Ah, yes. I was told about your mission and who ordered it. Did you two suspect at the time Orlays might have been involved in the attacks?
No idea. We just thought we were dealing with a known criminal.
Well, it appears you are ahead of the curve. This report contains definitive evidence Orlays triggered the attacks via this Lazarus plant the captain and Major Sanan uncovered.
Simply harrowing.
Indeed. Though it would have been preferable for him to have finally faced the UC's justice. It seems both of you are to be commended for ensuring he was dealt with before he could strike again. You have our thanks. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matters at hand. With the threads you've brought together here, the Lazarus plant, the attacks, the heat leeches, the three of you have likely spared thousands of lives. But it now falls to the cabinet to ensure this can never happen again. As such, the cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant will be classified to ensure no one else learns its true nature.
A sound decision, Madam President.
Okay. What sort of measures are we talking about here?
Well, luckily the natural hostility of Londinian makes keeping out trespassers relatively easy. But we'll ensure its growth is contained, that access to the plant is only permitted via highly regulated clearances, and that our troop presence on Londinian is increased.
Oh, should we involve the other factions? Or securing the plant isn't enough, it should be wiped out. I think securing the plant isn't enough, it should be wiped out.
We're already discussing the elimination of one species, Captain. Explain to me why you wish to eliminate another.
I mean, maybe destroying it and asking the Freestar Collective to help proves the UC has no ill intentions.
Yes, absolutely. The UC has to be as transparent as possible from now on. Otherwise, we could be risking a second colony war.
That is an idea with some merit to it. Decrease the likelihood of anything like this occurring again, and further relations between our two factions.
Two birds with a single stone.
Exactly.
Very well. We'll include the collective in the removal process. Thank you for the suggestion, Captain. So then, to our final topic. The Cabinet has agreed to implement a plan that will deal with the Terrormorph, and now also Heat Leech presence on human worlds. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But we all understand this is only a partial solution. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step must be deciding how exactly this all will be handled.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the safer approach.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps? The technology behind the microbe is solved science, Madam President. It isn't dangerous. Using it to wipe out the Terrormorphs would be the quickest path to protecting humanity.
And fast results always lead to the best outcomes, don't they?
Yeah.
As you can see, there remains debate among the Cabinet. We were hoping your group might issue a recommendation. Major?
We've been having similar debates ourselves, but the captain has yet to weigh in.
I see. Captain, I know this may not be your area of expertise, but we'd like to know your take on the matter.
Do we need to do anything? Shouldn't destroying the Lazarus plant be sufficient?
I believe we have a responsibility to do something, yes. Heavens forbid, years from now someone reopens the Pandora's box that Orlays discovered. It falls to us to enact every measure required to ensure that day never comes.
Still had questions about the methods.
Please, ask.
I'm just curious to see. What are the dangers of bringing back the Sealies?
I can feel this one. While intimidating creatures, certainly, Sealies are docile and less provoked. They're honestly closer to oversized mobile scanners than deadly predators. The concern is that, while all proposed methods will be long-term efforts, the Sealies are the slowest. Slow to breed, slow to deploy. We do everything we could to accelerate that process, including mustering some of our mothballed cloning technologies. But if we do elect to use this method, we'll be doing things at the pace of a megafauna, which is not an expedient one.
Okay, then what are the chances, really, that this microbe could cause problems to humans and other species?
Infinitesimally low.
But not zero.
Exactly.
The chance of a starship landing on you as you sit here isn't zero, yet you still attended. Personally, my fear isn't mutation, but Terrormorphs developing a resistance. But that's something our group can continue to address if we decide to take this approach, as I believe we should.
Will the other factions be involved in the cleanup efforts as well?
This won't work without them.
Exactly right, ma'am. The Interstellar Affairs Office has already begun reaching out to worlds throughout the settled systems, informing them of the risks we're all facing, and that the UC has a plan to prevent what happened on New Atlantis from happening elsewhere. Thus far, the response has been overwhelmingly positive. The spirit of mutual cooperation displayed between the UC and the Freestar Collective in managing the Terrormorph data set a good tone for the work we're doing, Captain. We expect we'll hit some resistance, but our office has plenty of carrots and sticks to ensure the program's widespread success.
Okay. And who exactly is doing all this work? Deploying whichever method we choose here.
The responsibilities will be spread across multiple branches of the UC. Research and day-to-day administration will be handled by a new group under the Science Division. All diplomatic concerns and coordination will fall to Chief Yassine and Interstellar Affairs. But most of the actual on-the-ground work, that'll be handled by the Vanguard.
Okay, no further questions.
Very well. Then did you have a preference on the method we should deploy?
Yeah, Sealies.
I'm in full agreement. No need be delving into unpredictable sciences.
Here's hoping they'll be kept on a short leash.
That, madam, is most certainly the plan.
Order, please. And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. We'll begin the process immediately. Today marks day one for the United Colonies Terrormorph Management Division, making you three the founding members of the TMD. As befits such a group, the Cabinet wanted to display its gratitude. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Thank you.
Class 1? For the 3 of us? Are you joking?
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
But wait, what's a Class 1 citizen?
It's a status reserved only for those who've dedicated their lives to the United Colonies, or done great things for its cause. Class 1s enjoy an ample credit disbursement, an additional reduction on the cost of colonial goods. And I'm told the penthouse is rather impressive.
All right, thank you.
You all have earned it. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sinan, Dr. Walker, I hope you two are willing to continue your efforts spearheading the TMD's research on Mars.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
And as a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you, Captain, will have your pick of duties. Speak to your commander, Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being named Class 1. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our sincerest gratitude. This meeting is adjourned.
Okay, thanks to K. Can we talk more?
Citizen Class 1. Not bad for you and Hadrian doing all the hard work.
Adrian? Can we talk?
Captain, I guess we've got our assignments. I just wanted to say, I could have never guessed where all this was going to lead. But what you've done for Percival, for me, for everyone, well, there aren't words to express how grateful I am.
Then let's keep going. Come with me.
You know I can't do that. I've got an assignment. But I wouldn't be upset if you came by the HQ every now and then. Remind me how much I owe you.
Yeah, just glad I was able to help.
Well, I think it's safe to say you succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams. It's been an honor, Captain. Good luck out there.
Likewise. And we do have potential conversation with Vivictis himself. No new stories for SS and N. So let's talk with Vivictis, then Tuala. And we'll get some side quests.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Yeah. Alrighty then, Vivictis. What do we have in mind?
What's this? Just you then? No UC executioner. So the cabinet knows the truth about Orlais. Splendid. That means you and I can get to work.
Okay, before any of this, if anyone's going to know this, it's you. Why did the UC lose the colony war?
I'll tell you why. Because the UC was, and is, full of people unwilling to pay the price required for victory. In the last days of the war, the UC was on the precipice of executing a final great assault on the Freestar Collective home system of Cheyenne. A massive strike, capable of obliterating Freestar Central Command and ending the conflict at long last.
And why wait so long? Why not just knock out their leadership early and be done with it?
I thought I'd had myself. But such invasions are costly, in resources and lives. Others in the UC believed the blockade would be sufficient to bring the Freestar Collective to its knees. But they were wrong. So instead, they sacrificed far more lives in a protracted war, rather than doing the right thing from the start, and demolishing the Freestar capital when they have the chance.
And I'm guessing things didn't go according to plan.
You'd be right. Everything was in place. But just before we could launch the strike, word came from Londinian. The Terrormorph outbreak had begun. I went to the city to assess the state of things, and discovered the Lazarus plant. We couldn't spare ships for a proper quarantine, so it was my decision to destroy the spaceport and seal off the city. Deal with it quickly, so we could get back to winning the war.
Damn. If you were able to get in, why couldn't you get the citizens of Londinian out?
I had a single ship. What would you have had me do? Ask them and the Terrormorphs to form a line, and the UC fleet was spread thin already. No, I touched down, assessed the situation, made a decision, and returned to the task at hand.
I mean, yeah, sacrificing my city to save others. I suppose I can see the logic there.
It seemed a simple choice. So upon my return from Londinian, we proceeded with our killing blow. Initially, we had great success against the mess the Freestar Collective called a navy. But then the Freestar citizenry decided to get involved. Dozens of civilian ships jumping in to shield their military counterparts. I, of course, had no trouble firing on what should have been designated enemy vessels. But my peers had lost the stomach for it. So many lives lost already, they wailed. So the great UC Navy was routed by a mob. They picked our ships apart. The UC surrendered not long after. And thus rang the death knell for the great UC.
Damn. Yeah, bested by civilians. Ironic, considering the civilians you sacrificed on Londinian.
It's human nature to see patterns, even when there are none. What ended the colony war was cowardice. Nothing less.
And I wanted to ask, during the outbreak, why not try to evacuate Londinium? Why blow the spaceport?
We were in the middle of an all-out war, Captain. Committing ships to save the city would have left another undefended. Which city would you prefer I'd sacrificed? Sidonia? Gagarin? New Atlantis? And if anyone else had learned about the Lazarus plant, well, the risk was too great. I weighed the options and made the call.
And how did you manage to deploy the Lazarus plant on New Atlantis?
Once we'd cracked synthesizing the Lazarus plant's pollen, research that took years in and of itself, the attacks were exceedingly simple. Orlaze's ship would land on our target, bearing a few heat leeches. Nothing that would raise suspicion. Then Lazarus pollen was pumped out of the ship during liftoff from the planet's surface. Shortly thereafter, an attack. A strike perpetrated in mere moments, with no one being the wiser.
Okay, let's talk about this work you're offering.
Well, thanks to our combined efforts, the Sanan name has more clout with the cabinet than it has in years. I hope to build on that. I have a long list of names civilized society would be better without. I just need someone to help me remove them from the picture. Should we begin the hunt? Or did you have questions?
Okay, just to refresh my memory. What exactly you want me to do? Or are we doing together?
Just making the settled systems a little safer. Arms dealers, rogue scientists, UC turncoats, war criminals from the colony war. Each poses a threat if left unchecked. I'd be directing you to them, and you'd be making the galaxy better for us all.
Okay, let's get... Or actually, am I going to get in trouble helping you? I presume this isn't sanctioned by the UC.
The UC doesn't consider these threats worthy of action just yet. But by the time they do, it may well be too late. Which is why we'll be dealing with them before they can cause greater harm. As far as possible legal repercussions, I'll only be sending you to targets once they're away from the general populace. You may have to deal with some mercenaries or other general banditry, but no one's gonna shed a tear if a merchant of death or a chem peddler and their henchmen meet an early end. You won't be going after anyone that UC might miss. So you needn't fear in that regard.
Okay, let's get started then.
Just what I was hoping to hear. There's a slate waiting for you in the transfer system.
Okay. Is this... Okay, still Vanguard mission.
Those are the details for our first, person of interest. Find them, eliminate them, and make the galaxy a better place for it. Though I would expect some resistance when trying to approach the target. Deal with any you encounter as you see fit.
Are you just gonna give me one by one then? Set the coordinates and a pair of initials VV. Okay. Where is this one? Well, in a system I haven't jumped in just yet. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Let me just select, we have speak with Commander Tuala. Let's see what side missions is gonna give me.
I'd urge caution.
Yeah, okay. I'm just wondering to see if there's more to talk about. Okay, so... Just gonna...
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Yeah, sure, he's... I'm going out. Never mind. Oh yeah, let's talk with Tuola, see what missions I can get from him, and then I'll probably leave it here for this episode. Why? Okay, never mind. Isn't that lift actually taking me here? Or is this a different lift? Anyway. Maybe I'll leave it here for this episode, or maybe just jump to Walbatani and deal with the target.
Well, I've got to
leave it there.
say, this is a first. I've never had a Class 1 citizen in my ranks before. Congratulations, Captain.
Can you tell me more about what a Class 1 citizen is?
It's a high honor. Have to do something big for the colonies to earn that sort of designation. Only ever met a couple myself.
Really?
Certainly never given one orders. You should be real proud.
Thank you. It's an honor.
No need to thank me. You brought this on yourself. I've already gone ahead and processed your Class 1 benefits. All UC goods and services should now have a thanks for protecting the colonies discount. And the credits should be in your accounts now.
Thank
To
you.
get into your penthouse, you'll have to pay a visit to the Aphelion Realty office. They should be able to grant you access.
Yeah, I'll just ask where's the office. I know what it is, but
Just out the front door and across the plaza, by the embassies. Look for the Aphelion sign.
yeah, just for the sake to ask. Well, that is generous.
Higher-ups wanted to make sure you know how much they appreciate what you've done. But with all that squared, it's time to get you a new assignment. There are your standard Vanguard missions, putting those pilot skills to use defending UC space. Or you could help the TMD in cleaning up Terrormorphs. Oh, and I got a request from Dr. Walker. Wanted your help collecting biological samples to keep an eye out for any, new alien threats on the horizon. Any of those missions call to you?
Here you do a Vanguard mission. Only ever really done the one.
Suppose that's true. Well, we can remedy that right now.
So, what are you gonna give me, or do I need to go to a console? The mission console or whatnot? Because I only got the... Take to Percival.
Vanguard space missions, hunting morphs, or helping Dr. Walk?
Sure, I'll start by helping out Percival.
Sure. He'll have all the specifics. If you find yourself looking for more work, you know where to find me. Super and Ultra, Captain.
Let's see if I select another mission for Vanguard, if I get something
Need someone
there.
to investigate a couple problem ships out in UC space? That the sort of thing you're looking for?
Yep.
All right, let's get you the details. Just getting those coordinates to you now.
Okay, there we
Report
go.
says
Now I
ships at these
have...
coordinates fired on United Colonies craft. You're cleared to use lethal force if necessary.
Thank you. Okay. And I think maybe both of these missions are space missions. To be honest. Where exactly would be... This should be in the Sol system, right? Yes, it is.
Attackers were Ecliptic affiliated, so I must know.
Yeah. Right. Sorry for ignoring you to all, but let's see with the penthouse. Yeah, there's the real estate. Hello, Zora.
Well, if it isn't the United Colony's newest Class 1 citizen, you've made quite a name for yourself in New Atlantis. In fact, the higher-ups want to thank you for your dedicated service by giving you one of the nicest pieces of real estate in the city. It's a premium penthouse at the top of Mercury Tower. Best location in New Atlantis, in my professional opinion. What do you say? It'll just take a second to get you registered as the owner.
Sure.
Great!
You're in for a real treat. It's one of my favorite apartments in the city.
Sure it is.
Okay, you're all set. Your new home's located in Mercury Tower in the residential district. You'll love the place. It has a gorgeous floor plan and an unbeatable view of the city. Now that you're an owner, I'm sure I'll be seeing you around town.
Probably. Let's select that one as active. Wait, which district will this be? Residential.
We're expecting. Huh. It won't be for a while, but we've already started.
Oh, okay. That was like, hey, we're gonna have a kid. And the other person was like, huh, okay, sure, whatever. Anyway, I'll just make a run towards the penthouse. I'm not gonna bother taking trams and whatnot. And, you know, keep ourselves fit a bit. Cardio. So yeah, let's see with the apartment, and then probably jump in Albatani and Karen. I think it's pronounced like that. Okay.
People joke,
This
say those
should
Varun zealots
be
worship a snake.
Centaur and Arsenal. There's Mercury Tower.
Oh. And what's the...
Oh, only one button. Okay. There we go. Ah, and I'm assuming I'm gonna need to buy furniture and whatnot. Kinda looks a bit empty. Yeah. This for the balcony. Yeah, not bad. It is a view though. Let me see the mast tower over there. Pardon me, Sarah. Just checking out our new crib. Ooh, multiple showers? Bathrooms? I think that's correct, right? Yeah. And big bathrooms, not one big and just one for this will be to wash the clothes, whatever, dryer, another potential room. The Sims. I'm getting PTSD from Sims. If I'm gonna do this, it's gonna be off screen. And we have a second balcony on the other side. Oh yeah. And then you have a view of the nature on this side. And then another small room. Okay, so that's the penthouse right here. We have to decorate. I still have to speak with Percival, but that I can do that another time. Let's fly to Karen. Hi.
When you have a moment, I'd like to speak to you.
Sarah wants to talk with us?
The shield system is fine.
Nice. Okay, let's loot that and
Oh, that just took out their shield.
nice. And it's like I what I wanted to say, looks like I took enough shield damage, maybe? Yep, I did. I kind of forgot to do boosting. I need to remember about that one. Sure, I'll get the shield just to have it. And I'm assuming if I go back to Tutuola, you can just get flight missions and whatnot. This is for... Actually, I'm gonna fast travel like this. It is a new system as well. Or I guess it does not matter. I wanted actually to see if I can select the planet, but I forgot. I have not yet jumped to the system, so I can't do that just yet. So I'm wondering, I think Tuala is acting as a mission console. That's what I'm getting at.
We've blown out their grab drive.
Hot off the stellar slide.
Okay, are you my... Okay, another boost. So 3, actually a 4, and 1 more boost, come on. Nice.
Freestar Collective owes you, stranger. We really showed Ecliptic. Most ships would have bugged out and left us with this mess. But you, total class act.
You're
Any way
welcome.
we can repay you?
Just
Take
server
him clean,
rights.
then. Thanks again for the help. Over and out.
Is this actually the target, or maybe I need to jump to another planet? Ah. Certainly. I'm assuming this is actually just a normal going to a factory kind of mission and just deal with the target. I might do this off screen actually then. Okay, let's got a bit of planets around here. I'm gonna travel to that ship. Is it an enemy or maybe a random encounter? Hello? Dare you like to buy Ream? Is this another kind of like the casino that I found
Time to
abandoned?
cycle the airlock and move.
To you about.
It's gonna have to wait.
Greetings.
Oh, you're
hell
going to
no.
regret this.
Successful flight.
Oh hell no, what the hell is this ship? I hear you. What did you pick? From a doctor. This might be a side mission I just stumbled upon. After I did the slate, that is. First. Nah. You can stay here. Wasn't there a safe? Ah, here. Which ones? Let's go with that. And then this. Then potentially this one. Yeah, and then another one. I still have 2 more with singles. Ah, it's neither of these. So I think again a lot of singles that I had to use for this one. And I think. Ooh, something like this. Or maybe actually, no, something like this. There we go. Okay, some ammunition. And that's pretty much it. You sure there's no ladder going up and down? Or some more ammunition out here. There's a door here. Ah, there we are. Let's see with the computer. The experiment, Xenowarfare. Oh, more Xenowarfare. Cocoon. They were doing experiments on the maggot. Where's the... So that's the locker. There's the cargo. Nice. So wait, I can take this ship with me? Not sure if I wanna do that though. There's another slate. Another doctor that died.
Set aside anything useful and just leave the rest. When you have a few moments, there's something I'd like to discuss.
Yeah, don't worry, Sarah. Give me a second. Okay, I think this is it. Let's see about those slates. When I think of the creature's transformation, I think of the eel. The eel is an old earthfish from the order Anguilliformes. They were curious creatures who flummoxed fishermen and scientists alike due to their lack of reproductive organs. The mere existence begged the question, where did the eel come from? How did it mate? Some believe they were creatures born of mud and water. Folklore had them rising from the ocean foam or manifested from the fallen hair of a mermaid. The confusion arose because the eel was not always the eel they knew. It went through stages of metamorphosis, taking different forms over the course of its life before maturing into its final form. It is only in this final stage, when its stomach dissolves and is forced to survive on its own fat, that the eel finally develops its reproductive organs. No reproductive organs because they had not yet taken shape, which brings me back to this creature, resting in its cocoon. We have observed it on land in our facility, but we were merely blind to its full life cycle. Can we be certain that what we are witnessing is not simply nature taking its course? If this creature is moving toward the reproductive phase, then the spores could be a sedative, designed to docile any nearby predators and prey. What worries me is this could be just the beginning. The clutch size of an eel is anywhere from 500,000 to 4 million eggs. No doubt there will be mouth to feed. Okay, that was Irene's. Martin's slate. To sleep. Okay, this is just a lullaby, apparently. And what about Mila's? 3 days after the creature wrapped itself in the cocoon, it finally moved. I only know because I saw the vid. I was right there, and I slept through the entire thing. It's not just me either. Nobody can focus. First it was just those who analyzed the spores coming out of the chrysalis, but now it's as if the entire crew is having trouble focusing. But I did a checkup, and all my vitals came back clean. I might just need a Terra brew. Damn, okay,
Let me
no.
guess. You missed me and you couldn't stay away.
Yeah, that's true. No side quests related to this? This is really interesting. So they were dealing with Xenowarfare as well. And yeah, it went really bad. That's the hypothesis. I think this is pretty much it in this ship. Yeah, I was actually expecting maybe another fight around here, but I guess no. Cool. So I'm gonna leave it here for this episode. I'm gonna probably check off screen to see if I can get any interesting missions from Tuala, and if not, if it just gives me like missions that I could get from many terminals, then I'll probably ignore the missions I get from him. Because yeah, I selected this one to fight in space and did not work, and only the second time when I asked him about this kind of mission, only then I received the coordinates. So it might just be like repeatables, something extra. But for now, I'm gonna leave it here for this episode and continue next time. So hopefully you enjoyed this part, guys. But as always, don't forget to take care.